Anyways, the next one is, hey guys, I have a question about all of your strategies being used for the same site, but different cities. So I have a client that I'm ranking on page 1 in 17 of the 24 cities they have in their county. I'm not able to get them in maps in as many cities, however. They only have one location, and I'd like to start pushing them up in maps in more cities. Would you just push more juice to the city pages? Yeah, that's one thing you could do. Remember, the maps algorithm now is it's the proximity part of it, right? The proximity filter or whatever you want to call it is even narrower now than it was 2 months ago. One of the more recent updates, which I think has occurred within the last 2 months, actually narrowed the proximity filter for Google Maps listings. So in order for your map listing to show up, or GMB to show up in the Maps 3-pack now, it's very closely tied to proximity to from where the searcher is in relationship to their business, to the actual physical location of the business when they perform the search. So it's even harder now than it was even just 6 months ago to get a Maps GMB to rank in maps outside of its immediate area, right? So it's not that it can't be done. That's what local GMB Pro methods are for, is to help you to learn how to expand that centroid, as Marco calls it, but expand the maps presence into, further and further out to kind of overcome that proximity issue. But that said, yes, some of the things that you can do would be to create like geo posts on your money site. You can even create location-based silos. And if you're in our mastermind, we talk about how to set up proper silo structure, and also how to create location-based silos within topical silos. And there's a way that you can do that using tags, for example. Very, very powerful. And when you mix those in with the SEO Shield stuff, the G site, the RYS drive stack, and you theme mirror everything together, which means you mirror the site, your website structure onto these other assets, the G site, the RYS drive stack and such, then you can start to really get your organic rankings to push up in those additional areas. And couple that with local GMB Pro methods, it's very likely that you could get your maps listing to start appearing in those cities within the county, outside of your immediate area is what I'm saying, where you're physically located. It takes effort, and you've got, in order to get the maps listing to rank in the 3-pack, it does require consistent effort, but it can be done. Marco, do you want to comment on that really quickly?
Yeah, there has to be a relationship between the centroid and the place where you're trying to get into the map pack. If you cannot establish that relationship, then it's really, really difficult to try to get your listing to appear, because there are other businesses that are closer by when that searcher is conducting that query, right? When that person is looking for, I don't know, a plumber, emergency plumber, they're going to get those who are closest to them. They're not going to get someone that's an hour and a half away. To overcome that, that's when you have to relate that centroid. And we teach that in local GMB Pro. We've talked about that in the mastermind, extending the spokes, thinking of it like a wheel, right, with spokes, and just trying to extend the spokes. How do you do that? Well, it's part of the secret sauce. Sorry.
Yeah, and I was trying to look for that article that Brian Cato published. I've listed it, and I posted it in here, but he did a really good job with showing how to build out relationships with using local entities, in content to get a local page to rank or a local site to rank. So that's something that if I could find it, I'd post the link, but we're running out of time. So I'll try to come back and post that. It was a really good write-up that he did on that. So I'll try to share that with you once we're done.